Welcome to week 1 of the course. We've created these videos for you to watch every week where Megan and I will introduce some key concepts and ideas that will help you reflect on your practice. This week, we're going to look at first, the relationship between thinking and dialogue. Second, the difference between classroom talk and dialogue. And finally, the difference between oracy and dialogue. So to begin, here's a quote from Plato. Thinking and discourse are the same thing. Except what we call thinking is precisely the inward dialogue carried on by the mind itself without a spoken sound. So Plato seems to be saying here that thinking happens through language. Not everyone will agree with Plato, but it's hard to argue with the idea that at least one way that thinking happens is through an internal dialogue that we are having. If we spend some time thinking about how we think, we can see that dialogue is part of the process. So for example, while we were preparing for this course, Megan said to me that we need to be really careful about not using too many academic terms, which may be new to our learners. In thinking about this, I was trying to work out whether it was better to use simpler language or whether to explain the terms so that course students could better understand the concepts that they represent. So here, what I've done is I've just described how my thinking used language. What I did was I silently used words in my head to try and solve a problem that Megan had presented. But not only was I using language to solve this problem, I was also responding both to Megan and to my own idea of you, of the course students. So my thinking process was in dialogue with both Megan and you as course students, even though neither of you were in my head with me. So you probably know by now that a requirement for receiving a certificate of completion for this course is submitting a quality reflective journal of 2,000 words or more. This is going to be really important because through this reflective journal, you're going to be able to link these ideas to your own practice. And so what we've done is we've included a template for this journal in the resources section for each week. So week 1's reflective journal template is below. And while you complete the readings for this week and listen to this video and explore the EduDialogue website, we'd like you to use this reflective journal and to start making some notes. And one of the things you could do to begin with is you can write out an account or a timeline of one thinking process that you have had. How did you think about a problem? This could be any problem or task, or even just something you were thinking about. Ask yourself, was language involved in that thinking? Were you in dialogue with someone? And how might you understand that actually thinking has a relationship with dialogue? So you can go ahead and press pause and do that exercise right now if you like. So Megan is now going to talk you through the difference between classroom talk and educational dialogue.
Thanks, Farah. As we begin this course, we know that it's really important to understand the distinction between educational dialogue and classroom talk. And to do that, we've included a quote here on the screen from Robin Alexander, whose ideas we'll actually be looking at in a little bit more detail next week, and who will actually also be meeting in next week's video. And his quote is, "Dialogue is more than just talk. It involves teachers and learners commenting and cumulatively building on each other's ideas, posing questions, and constructing interpretations together." The work on educational dialogue has been generated by the unequal nature of classroom talk. In many classrooms, we still have a problematic situation where the teacher is speaking 80% of the time. When learners do speak, it is typically in an IRE or F exchange, and that stands for initiation, response, evaluation, or feedback. Here's what it would look like in practice. The teacher asks a question. Learners bid to answer by raising their hands. The teacher picks one learner. The learner answers. And then the teacher either gives an evaluation like your answer is right or wrong, or offers feedback on the learner's answer. This kind of exchange means that many learners never actually speak in class. In contrast to this kind of classroom exchange, here are some key features of educational dialogue. Dialogue means being able to articulate ideas seen from someone else's perspective. It is characterized by chains of primarily open questions and answers. It may be sustained over the course of a single lesson or across lessons. It builds on the idea of exploratory talk, where learners explore different perspectives, construct shared knowledge, make reasoning explicit, and are willing to change their minds. And lastly, it has a critical dimension. Learners respectfully critique their own and others' ideas. So this is a lot to digest in a video clip. So we've included a lot of links below to look at these key features in a bit more detail. And one of the activities for you to complete this week is to spend some time thinking through your own classroom or setting. How far is your practice dialogic? Which of these features of educational dialogue are easy to identify in your classroom and in your planning? We suggest that you now jot down some initial thoughts about this in your reflective journal template for this week. You can hit pause and do that now while it's fresh in your head. As we go through the course, we will look at ways we can make our classrooms and settings more dialogic so that they have the characteristics described on the edudialogue.org website. Before we finish today, I'll pass it back to Farah, who will briefly explain the difference between dialogue and oracy. And we thought that this was a really important distinction to make at the beginning of the course.
Thank you, Megan. So it's important to say here that we're really fully supportive of all the work that's been done to teach oracy skills. And although we're really excited about oracy, our focus in this course is dialogue. And clearly the two are related, but the distinction is that oracy is about teaching learners how to express their ideas confidently and coherently. And although this is an important skill for quality dialogue, educational dialogue is also about responding to ideas and learning through interaction with others. Educational dialogue is dependent on relationships and on fostering an openness and criticality towards others' ideas. As we go through this course, we hope that learners' oracy skills will also develop as you begin to work to improve the quality of the educational dialogue in your classrooms.
So that's it from us for this session. We're going to try to keep these videos rather brief throughout the 6 weeks together because we do want you to spend the majority of your time really digesting the materials and the information and relating it back to your setting. Once you're finished watching this video, please do scroll down and you can access all of the readings and the resources from the week, as well as the activities and the discussion forum contributions that have been assigned for this week. We're looking forward to seeing you in week 2, where we have invited Robin Alexander to talk to you about his work on taking a dialogic stance. Bye for now.